is Jalen Rose. I am David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do, Jalen?
We give the people what they want.
Isaiah Thomas was playing in a Seattle Pro-Am game and scored 81 points. 81 points. You know when someone scores 81, Jalen Rose is going to get involved. So he got out the phone, and Isaiah Thomas is going to join us later on in the show. You don't want to miss that. But we start with one of the newest Los Angeles Lakers to be added to the roster. Russell Westbrook had his introductory press conference. Here's what he had to say.
When I got drafted in the NBA, that was me proving people wrong. If I go to college, go to UCLA from the inner city, that was me proving people wrong. Just making it out the hood was proving people wrong. I don't need to do that anymore. As you know, Bron is one of the best players to play this game. And his ability to be able to kind of do everything on the floor allows me to be able to just figure it out. I'm coming to a championship caliber team, and my job is to make sure that I'm able to make his game easy for him, and I'll find ways to do that throughout the game.
Jalen, ever since this deal was made with the Wizards to bring Westbrook to Los Angeles to join LeBron, there's been so much discussion about his fit with the team. How do you think he will fit with this team?
I love this, and you know how much I love Russ. You fit in anywhere when you average a triple-double for a season, ladies and gentlemen. Newsflash, that's what he did last year. I just wish the late, great Nipsey Hussle would be there to see Russ play in the purple and gold. Because remember when he passed, the kind of numbers that he put up when he played against the Lakers, the 20-20-20. If you know, you know. With that being said, Russ is just a sign of maturity, Jacoby. Like, as you start to get older, you remember when we used to be mean mugging in the 90s? You know what I'm saying? And you walk around with your fist balled up all of the time. That didn't mean you could fight more. That didn't mean you was tougher. That just meant you were mean mugging. And then as you started to get older, you're like, I ain't gotta necessarily do that to get my point across. And that's how Russ is approaching this situation. He's been an MVP of the league. Early in his career, he's played in the NBA Finals. He's played with some of the best players in the game. Harden, KD, Paul George, Sabonis, and so Bradley Beal, now LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And so he's been a chameleon in a lot of ways. And this comes full circle. I remember when Russ was in college, and do you realize he basically averaged 9 points for his college career? And now all of a sudden, he's a guy that's breaking the Big O's triple-double record in the NBA. He's gonna help the Lakers in particular when LeBron's off the floor and when LeBron and or AD are in street clothes. That's why you bring in Russ, because he doesn't play like your normal guard that's in his low 30s.
Absolutely. Now, we always say the best players you put around LeBron James are rim protecting big and 3-and-D people, shooting. You want shooting around LeBron because he's such a maestro with the basketball. I think a lot of people just point to Russell Westbrook's lack of a jump shot, but here's the thing. He averages a triple-double. He gets you 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and at least 10 points every single game. And they did bring in Malik Monk, who can shoot, and Kendrick Nunn can shoot. Like, they do have some shooting around him. Carmelo, great point. He's a catch-and-shoot guy now in his career, basically. But that second unit, when LeBron is on and off the floor, they're such a different team last year that the addition of Russell Westbrook is really going to help that. When you look at those numbers, I think this is one of the main motivating factors to bring Russ in, don't you?
And also, you know how much I love this sound. Meow. He's going to bring speed. Just sure volume of pace changing ends of the floor. Some of LeBron's best plays in transition with the Lakers, he was out in transition with Caruso. That's why a lot of people were surprised they let him go, a young ascending player, because he played faster and got out in transition and matched LeBron. That's what Russ is gonna be doing. There are gonna be times where the Lakers get the ball in bounds and Russ is gonna be laying the ball up with less than 4 seconds on the other end of the court. That's what he's gonna bring. And a relentless competitive spirit.
Yep. It is that competitive spirit, and that analysis you just gave us was so on point. But there's one thing that I strongly disagree with. Russell Westbrook is still going to be mean mugging. He's still going to be mean mugging. That's the attitude that he plays with when he is on the floor. He just mean mugs. That's his default setting when he is playing basketball. Big shout out to Russell Westbrook and the Lakers. I, for one, definitely think this is going to be a good fit, and they will win the Western Conference if healthy.
Brody.
However, the man that he is replacing, Dennis Schroeder,
this would definitely be a trio to be reckoned with.
LeBron James delivering AD dynamite.
Westbrook, he just doesn't stop.
I'm a champion, I need some trophy.
Russell Westbrook once said a Spalding basketball was his only friend, but sounds like things have changed. Take a listen to what Russ said at his introductory press conference for the Purple and Gold.
AD and Bron are friends of mine first. And me being their teammate, my job is to come in and uplift them. And they do the same with me, vice versa. And as the season prolongs, we will figure it out. There will be ups, there will be downs, and that's normal. That's okay. But we will figure out how to play the best way that we want to play to be able to win a championship.
Russ, AD, LeBron. It's a pretty strong big three, if I do say so myself. But Max, is this the best big three that LeBron's played with?
The answer is yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I will tell you why. LeBron played, let's look at his big threes. LeBron played with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Tell me who among them, other than LeBron, was ever a thought as an MVP of the league. Kyrie has never been thought of that way. No one's ever made the case. You know who should win MVP of the league this year? Kyrie Irving. Kevin Love has never been thought of that way. Neither one. Between Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh on that big three, at that point in their careers, Wade was still a great player, but not as great as he once had been. Wade was not perceived by anyone, nor did anyone make the argument in those 4 years in Miami. You know, Dwayne Wade maybe is the MVP. No one even thought it. No one made the argument. And Chris Bosh is a great player, but also at no point in his career did someone look at Chris Bosh and say, five-star player, meaning four-star being an all-star, five-star MVP. That didn't happen. However, this big three on the Lakers right now, LeBron's a multiple-time MVP, and when last seen healthy, I remember arguments a couple months ago, he's still the best player in basketball. He's the MVP of the league. AD, when healthy, absolutely performs at MVP level. And by the way, we saw it in the playoffs with LeBron. You could argue AD could have won Finals MVP, but he's had multiple seasons of double-digit rebounds and high 20 points and PERs among the greatest of all time. No one would argue that's an MVP caliber player. Now, Russell Westbrook. Is that the weak link here? Russell Westbrook? Russell Westbrook was a 30-point triple-double on average for the season. 30-point triple-double. Stephen A., he didn't start averaging 23 and 22 and 25 points because he couldn't still drop 30, 32 points. He did it because he's actually a team player. Look, Paul George, I need to get him the ball more, whatever. The point totals dropped. And because he's on a different team every year with different teammates, first half of the season, he's figuring it out. We're all like, oh, look at that. Russell Westbrook's not as good as he used to be. But then he figures it out. And second half of the season, every single year we go, that dude's playing at MVP level. We said it this year, the year before, the year before that, the year before that. So yeah, LeBron James has never been on a team, ever, with even one other guy we look and go, that's an MVP caliber player. Now he's playing with two of those guys. And Stephen A., it's true even if they don't win the championship because they're playing in a league where another team has even more in the Brooklyn Nets.
You're wrong, number one. Number two, you have no clue what you're talking about. And the reason why you have no clue what you're talking about, Max, is very, very forgivable because your logic is deniable in this particular situation, Vicky, from iRobot. We know
I like
this.
Spock. I like Spock.
Well, you know, but Vicky was Spock too. Spock Kellerman works too. Either way,
I see what you're doing with the Vicky thing. I'm not crazy about it.
I understand that. Yeah, I got it. If it was a different name, that's fine. Vicky's, I respect that. Spock Kellerman. Well, we'll use Spock Kellerman. But the reason why I say you're wrong, Max, is because you're looking at just numbers and you're not taking into account the moments, my brother. You're not taking into account the moments, the environment, the ambiance. Max, you have no idea. I don't care what you saw on TV. I don't care what you've done on TV to cover the Miami Heat in the LeBron James era was something special. I mean, I'm just getting a little bit emotional right now. Just hold on, let me compose myself.
A basketball argument.
This is some special stuff, man. Max, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. We all get that. We all get that with LeBron. LeBron, as you